Why do 90% of beginners never succeed? It is not because they are stupid. It is not because they lack talent. It is not because they do not have money. They fail because they quit at the exact moment when persistence is about to pay off. They quit when the hardest part is invisible. They quit because nobody warned them what the first months would really feel like. If you started a project today, if you are building something and you are tired, if you are secretly thinking about quitting, then stop. Listen, this might be the single most important message you will ever hear. Beginners start with a dream. They dream of freedom. They dream of money. They dream of respect. They dream of control over their life. They imagine a life where they never have to answer to anyone, where their work finally pays off, where every effort they make builds the future they want. The first week feels magical. Energy is high. Motivation is unstoppable. You tell yourself, "This is my time. This is the moment I become the person I always dreamed of." Every plan feels possible. Every goal feels achievable. Every step feels like it is bringing you closer. You wake up at 5 a.m., heart racing, full of energy, ready to conquer the world. You write down your vision. You feel like nothing can stop you. You imagine the money, the freedom, the respect. You tell your friends, "Watch me. I am about to change everything." They nod politely. They smile. But they don't understand the fire you feel. They cannot see the long nights ahead, the grind that will break most people. But here is the truth: motivation is emotional. Emotions fade. And that is when 90% of beginners collapse. Not because they cannot succeed.
Not because they lack skill, but because they were expecting the wrong journey. Every journey has a phase where nothing seems to happen. I call it the silent battlefield. No lights, no validation, no applause. You keep working, but it feels like the world is watching you fail. You post, but nobody notices. You build, but nobody buys. You learn, but nobody acknowledges. The loneliness of early work is brutal. You sit at 2 a.m., staring at your screen, your eyes dry, your back aching, asking yourself, is all of this worth it? Your brain screams, why am I doing this? Why is nobody noticing? Maybe I am not good enough. Maybe this isn't for me. You scroll social media for a second of comfort. You see other people winning, people posting achievements, people smiling in highlight reels, people getting recognition for work you are grinding silently on. You feel small. You feel invisible. You feel like quitting. That is the moment most people quit. That is the exact moment where the breakthrough is about to happen, and you are seconds away from proving to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. This phase is not a sign to stop. It is a test. And most beginners mistake it for failure. They tell themselves, maybe I am not good enough. Maybe this is not working. Maybe I should try something else. No, you are just too early to see results, too early to get recognition, too early for the world to notice your grind. Beginners are not weak, they are impatient. They want 6 months of results in 6 weeks. They want proof before persistence. But success does not reward speed, it rewards survival. Every master was once a beginner who endured invisible months. Every entrepreneur you admire, every person you idolize sat in the silence, stared at the screen at 2 a.m., felt the fear, felt the doubt, and kept going while everyone else slept. Your brain is wired for instant rewards, likes on social media, quick approval, instant entertainment. But building something meaningful gives delayed gratification. It gives long-term satisfaction. It gives results that are invisible for months or even years. When results do not come fast, your mind whispers lies. This is not working. Try something else. Maybe you are not cut out for this. Maybe you should just give up. Beginners confuse discomfort with danger, and that is why they quit. The first 30 days are the hardest. The first 30 days are where you test your limits, where your mental toughness is built, where your discipline is forged in fire. It is silent, it is invisible, and it is the gatekeeper of success. Most beginners love ideas, they love planning, they love logos, names, brand colors, they love imagining success. But when it is time to pick up the phone, when it is time to refine the product, when it is time to face rejection, when it is time to execute, they disappear. Because execution is boring, repetition is boring, learning from mistakes is painful, but skill is forged in that fire. Winners are not collectors of ideas. They are relentless in execution. They execute when nobody is watching. They execute when it feels impossible. They execute when every cell in their body screams to stop. Ego kills beginners. They do not want to look small. They do not want to look new. They do not want to post beginner content. They want to look professional before they have earned it. So when their first attempt is average or ugly, they stop. But your first year is supposed to be messy. Your first 100 attempts are supposed to feel awkward and raw. Embarrassment is the price of mastery. If you cannot handle being bad at first, you will never become dangerous later. Beginners follow a predictable cycle. Month 1, excitement. Month 2, doubt. Month 3, new idea. Repeat, new niche, new business model, new strategy, and they call it growth. It is not growth, it is avoidance. Every new idea is shiny, but every idea has the same painful beginning. If you keep restarting, you remain a beginner forever. Depth creates skill. Focus creates results. Consistency creates momentum. Constant switching creates nothing. Motivation feels powerful, but discipline builds empires. Motivation says, I will work when I feel like it. Discipline says, I will work even when my body screams stop. Beginners rely on emotion. Winners rely on systems. Systems are boring. Systems are repetitive. Systems are invisible, but they generate momentum. Momentum builds belief. Belief creates unstoppable execution. Real businesses take time, real skills take time, real reputation takes time. Beginners expect acceleration without foundation. You cannot build a skyscraper on shaky ground. You need invisible months, invisible work, invisible learning. And that invisibility is what separates the weak from the relentless. Success does not come gradually. It comes suddenly. But that sudden moment is built on years of invisible effort. One breakthrough can change everything, but only if you survive long enough to see it. Most beginners quit right before momentum, right before growth, right before clarity, because the breakthrough is always hidden behind frustration. If you are listening right now and your project feels slow, good. If you feel uncomfortable, good. If you feel tested, perfect. You are not failing. You are being shaped, but only if you stay, only if you learn, only if you adapt instead of escape. Quitting does not protect you. It guarantees mediocrity. 90% of beginners fail, not because opportunity is scarce, not because talent is rare, but because endurance is rare, not because ideas are missing, but because long-term commitment is missing. The world is overflowing with talent. It lacks people who refuse to disappear. So when you feel like quitting, remember, struggle is normal. Slow growth is normal. Pain is necessary. The only question is, will you survive the boring phase? Will you survive the doubt? Will you survive the silence? If you do, you automatically enter the 10%, and the 10% do not have superpowers. They just did not leave. Do not quit your project. Do not abandon the journey. Endure the grind, face the silence, stop looking for easy paths, become harder, because beginners do not fail because they start wrong. They fail because they stop too soon. If you are still here, still grinding, still staring at the screen at 2 a.m., then listen closely. This is the part nobody talks about. This is the battlefield behind the spotlight. This is the war that kills 90% of beginners silently. You feel invisible, and the world is moving without noticing. Emails unanswered, messages ignored, ideas dismissed. You feel like screaming, but nobody is listening. Your friends go out, your family celebrates, and you are here alone in the silence, building something that nobody can yet see. This is where the real test begins. Not the first week, not the first month. This is the phase where endurance becomes survival, where patience separates the weak from the relentless. Your mind will betray you. It will whisper lies in the quiet hours. It will tell you you are failing, you are behind, you are not good enough. Maybe someone else could do it better. Maybe this path is not for you, and you will feel the temptation to quit, to throw everything away, to switch to the next shiny idea, to find comfort in mediocrity. This is the exact moment where 90% of beginners fold, because comfort feels safer than struggle, because uncertainty feels like danger, because the pain of growth is louder than the voice of vision. But the 10% stay. They embrace the discomfort. They stare fear in the face and say, not today. They do the boring work. They make the calls no one else wants to make. They face rejection after rejection without flinching. They sit in empty rooms, late nights, long hours, and they execute when motivation is dead, because they know motivation is a liar. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the wildfire. Every day you do the work that nobody sees. You are building invisible strength. Every call you make that gets ignored. Every post nobody reads. Every product nobody buys. You are stacking invisible bricks. These bricks build empires. They build resilience. They build unstoppable momentum. Winners are not born. They are sculpted in silence. In the moments where quitting seems logical. In the moments where your body wants rest, your brain wants reward, and your heart wants comfort. Most beginners give up at the first fight with ego. Ego tells you, you must look perfect, your content must be flawless, people must notice your progress immediately. Mistakes are failure. But here is the truth: mistakes are the currency of mastery. Awkward first attempts are the foundation of skill. Embarrassment is the fuel of courage. You will be terrible at first, you will stumble, you will fail repeatedly, and that is good. Because every failure builds calluses on your mind. Every rejection teaches strategy, patience, and endurance. Every awkward post teaches you what works and what is not. If you quit at this stage, you are trading long-term power for short-term comfort. You are choosing mediocrity over mastery. You are choosing a life where you always wonder, what if? And those what ifs will haunt you more than any failure ever could. The real game is long-term survival. It is showing up day after day when the world sees nothing. It is doing the work nobody praises. It is staring at your own limitations and smashing them with relentless action. Beginner patterns are predictable. Month 1, you feel unstoppable. Month 2, doubt creeps in. Month 3, temptation to switch appears, and the cycle repeats. The 10% break the cycle. They do not switch, they deepen, they refine. They repeat the work relentlessly until progress is undeniable. Here is something most people ignore. The first 6 months of your grind will feel like nothing is happening. You will work silently. You will see zero validation. You will see slow or no results. And that is by design. The universe filters the impatient. The universe exposes the weak-willed. The universe rewards those who endure when all signs scream quit. You may ask yourself, why does it feel so hard? Why am I alone in this? Why do others seem to succeed faster? Here is the brutal truth. They are not ahead of you in skill, in talent, or in resources. They are ahead because they refused to leave the battlefield. They endured the silent months. They embraced the invisible grind. Your body will ache. Your mind will scream. Your spirit will waver, but you will keep showing up, and that is how the 10% are made. Delayed gratification is not just a concept. It is a survival skill. Your brain craves instant pleasure, instant reward. It wants social media likes, validation, approval. But true success does not reward the instant. It rewards the invisible, the patient, the relentless. Every hour you spend learning, executing, failing, and refining is invisible wealth. It compounds silently. It sets you apart from the 90% who quit. If you feel tired, if you feel tested, good.